What's up, everyone? So 2020 is shaping up to be done and looking good as the year ends. Vaccine for COVID is out there, 90% effective rate, which is good, looks promising. And we possibly have a new president, which, I've been looking forward to for 4 long years. Say what you will about Donald Trump. I know a lot of people, my neighbor actually almost got into a fight in the elevator where I live. He assumed I voted for Trump. We've known each other, been living here since 2006, so we've known each other for a long time. He kind of would seem like a Trump supporter, but nothing against him or anyone that voted for Trump, but he thought I voted for Trump. And I was like, no, dude, I got black kids and pre-existing condition. I'm not voting Republican ticket on that account. But the thing with Donald Trump is that he's not qualified for the job. It's almost November 15th. I've been working from home since March 13th. My kids barely got back to school, and we're lucky because of that. Because we're doing private schools for my kids. But my daughter had a lot of friends that went from her daycare to public schools in really rich neighborhoods, not like shitty neighborhoods, but good public schools in New York City. And they were like iffy, they're shut down, they're open, they're shut. It's so much back and forth. And those are good schools. I mean, so I can't imagine what the bad or mediocre public schools are doing. So, and none of that was fixed since March. Like I always tell people, I remember going to work every day from right after New Year's Day to up until we had to flee for quarantine in March. And every morning on the train, I opened my iPad and I'd read the New York Times, read different BBC, CBC, Canadian news. All over the world, everyone's talking about coronavirus from January 1st. I think it was even before, like right after Christmas. So when it hit, I mean, it was like, this is coming, this is coming, this is coming. It was the way it was discussed. So when coronavirus hit the US in February, I think we should have had a plan in place because it was a thing that was happening around the world. And even all the news outlets were saying sooner or later it's going to come to America. You could shut down the borders. You could be racist against Asian people. All you want. You could call it a hoax all you want. But this is real. It's coming to America. Regardless of if you're Chinese, if you're American, if you're white, if you're black. It's going to come and it's going to affect our country. And I knew about this reading the New York Times. I'm like, you know what? This looks serious. And I'm not the goddamn president of the United States. I'm just a regular guy going to work in the city on a train reading my newspaper. And I read it every day. I read this. Fox News, I think, said it was a hoax by the Democrats. Donald Trump said it was a hoax by the Democrats. The Republican Party was like, blah, blah, blah. It wasn't actually only until like September or, that we found out Donald Trump knew about the severity of it in that Woodward phone call that was taped and didn't tell anyone. So I think on that account, he fails as a president. 250,000 Americans will have died by the time you guys are watching this video. More, possibly by the end of the year. By the time the vaccine, I read something. By the time we get the vaccine next year, April or spring or whenever, when regular people get the vaccine, we're looking at 500,000 people could have died if Trump stays in office and none of this nonsense is sorted out. 500,000 Americans died within a year. From March 13th to March 2020 to March 2021, 500,000 Americans would have died from something that could have been prevented by wearing a mask. A simple mask, a simple mask. It's so funny. So this dude thought I voted for Trump, and I was like, no, dude, that would never have happened. Look at me. I could see voting Republican based on stance on issues and stuff like that, and what's valuable to you. I know a lot of, on the weekend when I was talking to my army buddy from North Carolina who wished he was in North Carolina voting, and he's a Trump voter. He didn't actually vote for Trump, but he said he's a Republican, lifelong Republican. And his big thing is the oil and coal and gas industry. And I was telling him, dude, it's 2020. Tesla stock went up 400%. Technology stocks all went up in 2020, whilst everything else kind of went down, because oil and gas industry is reliant on too many factors that are becoming outdated. One in itself, oil and gas is limited. You can only dig up so much of it. you know, before you run out of it, or before it becomes too expensive to mine and pull out of the earth, because it's not going to be feasible to pull it up and sell oil at $1,000 a barrel. You know, it's not feasible anymore. When electricity or green energy is going to be free, available everywhere. The only thing that's holding green energy back, and this is something Tesla's addressing, is the technology of storing energy and using it, having the energy more usable and more practical, and storing it from when you get it from sunlight or wherever you get it from. And I think that's the future, dude. And I'm like, dude, like, I don't want my kids to, when they graduate college in 20 years, to be looking to work in the oil and gas industry. You know, if my son doesn't go to college and, you know, he becomes a worker, I don't want him digging up coal or digging up oil or anything like that in the next 25 years. You know, I want my kids to be working towards the future. And I think that's the point of that is missed on these people that vote Republican. Not even voting for Trump, because I don't think Trump is a classic Republican. I think people look at him as some sort of Jesus that kind of stimulates their either racist beliefs or what they think America should be. America should only be for one group of people, and the other group of people that don't look like that, that's not white, it's eaten away from their table or their plates. That's not the case. A lot of people bring a lot to this country, more so than Donald Trump only paid $750 in taxes, you know, a year. I could tell you how many illegal immigrants probably paid more than that in taxes in their, you know, their time in America than Donald Trump probably paid his whole life living here. You know, like, look at that. And he's paying taxes in China and talking about Biden being a Chinese agent for China. And this dude is paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxes in China. My neighbor says, "Oh, you voted for?" I'm like, "No, hell, fucking no." You know, like, what planet? I must be on drugs, you know, and waiting for a stimulus check, you know, to want to vote for that dude, you know. And then he has the audacity to say, "No stimulus check until I win the election." I'm like, get out of here, man. But anyway, that's the good news for my life. Hopefully the vaccine comes out and everything goes back to normal. Anyway, I got to get back inside and go work from home now. Start my day. I'll talk to you guys later on. Bye.